everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to the second hour, where we are experiencing, again, technical difficulties with the video feed. It's got to be Google Hangout. Will somebody please talk to the people at Google Hangout and get them to get their technology together, for goodness sake. We'll try to fix this out in the next break. In the meantime, you're just going to have to be happy listening to the voice. We're going to go to California and talk to Dave about birth control, of all things. Hey, Dave, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thank you, Dr. Glidden. Hey, I think a lot of people know that the papaya enzyme, back about 1951 or 52, was discovered to be a birth control thing that eventually became the pill. Now, we have folks that are using Mexican yam for birth control, and I'm thinking of asking you about that. And I'm thinking about sending these girls that are using this after they've been on it 2 months over to Dr. K and see if they're ovulating in the 14th day of their cycle. How far off am I?
Well, I don't have any experience with this. The wild Mexican yam was touted as a hormone balancing agent because it's high in phytoprogesterone, which is a plant-based hormone that's very close in molecular signature to human progesterone. But the yam, Latin name Dioscorea villosa, is, depending on where it's grown, what the soil's like, how it's harvested, how it's prepared, how the active ingredients in it are extracted. There are all these variables that go into making one bottle of over-the-counter yam extract high in phytoprogesterone and the bottle right next to it on the shelf low in phytoprogesterone. See, this is the problem. Now, this is where the Germans come in. One of the things the Germans got right, in my opinion, is they have a very intimate relationship with botanical medicine. There's a part of the German pharmaceutical engine is called the German Commission E. Commission E, that's Commission with a K, E like Edward. And German Commission E regulates the manufacture, the sales, and the distribution of medicinal agents made from plants. And it may interest you to know that the largest selling medicine in the world is a German extract of it's of ginkgo biloba. It's a German extract, of hypericum as an antidepressant. It's a German extract of the herb Hypericum perfoliatum, which is used as an antidepressant. It's the largest selling medicine in the world, and it's made by the Germans. And they take the stuff into the lab, they grow it under controlled circumstances, they extract what they think are the active ingredients. They standardize those active ingredients so that every pill, every pressed tablet of, the German herb medicine has more or less the same milligrams of the active ingredient that the next pill does. They're very, very, very good at that. Now, this, of course, is fractionated herbalism, because what they're doing is they're targeting one or two of the biochemicals in the herb instead of all of them. When we have a big argument, there's a big argument in the botanical medicine community as to which is better, the standardized extract of one or two of the chemicals in the plant, or just taking the whole plant, right? With some type of an alcohol or oil extract or water extract. But I don't know if I'm answering the question appropriately. Is the only way that a yam or any other botanical medicine or food source could act in a way to change your natural human hormone levels would be if it was standardized to contain a certain amount of plant hormones in every single dose. And the over-the-counter yam creams are not. Now, if you could find a German extract of yam cream, and actually there was a company in Oregon called Bezwecken, Bezweckin, which was started by a naturopathic physician. They had a standardized extract of yam cream, and it was great. But I believe that just 2 months ago, the Food and Drug Administration ordered them to stop making it. So go figure. The only yam extracts that actually had certifiable amounts of phytohormones in them, phytoprogesterones, phytoestrogens in them, you can't get anymore. And the over-the-counter stuff just doesn't pass muster because it's not standardized to contain a specific amount in every dose. Does that make sense, Dave?
It does make some sense. Now, this is an oral medication, okay? An oral vitamin made by one of the common vitamin companies. It's
but it doesn't matter whether it's an oral application, whether it's a vaginal application, whether it's a skin application. What matters is how much of the active ingredient that we're trying to use to push human biochemistry this way or that way is present is in it. Yeah. And then we have the whole absorbability issue, right? I mean, is it in a gel cap? Is it in a pressed tablet? Does it have a shellac coating over it? Is it in a cream? Is it in a vaginal cream? Is it in a, there's all these variables that then go into it after you've dialed in the amount of the active ingredient. And, nobody's figured that out except the Germans. And honestly, the Germans are about 50 years ahead of everybody else in the world. But because the Germans are such reductionists about everything, their treatments don't do what they could. If the Germans hired me or Dr. Wallach, we'd change the world in about a year. We would. Because we're talking about holistic medical nutrition, which is quite a bit different than fractionated, and it makes all the difference in the world. But it's a point well taken, right? And, like I talked about in my little diatribe earlier, most drugs started in the plant kingdom. That's where they came from. Pharmaceutical industry has people swarming all around the Amazon right now looking for the next plant, and that's how curare, there's a medicine, it eludes me right now, that they use for surgery as anesthesia, and it was derived from curare. Fascinating stuff going on in the field of, there's a name for it. I'll think of it in a minute. But, it's the field that's involved with looking at the chemical constituents of plants that you can use medicinally. It's fascinating.
Should we check the girl's ovulation on the 14th day at Dr. K's office to see if she's really different after taking the sham pill so we could gain some knowledge?
Well, you could, but then the thing that you come up against is because the dosage isn't standardized. Yeah. You have no idea what's going to happen next month, right? You don't. So and this is a problem, and this is a big problem in the vitamin industry. Even in the stuff, like, for instance, a calcium supplement, okay? So let's say a vitamin manufacturer has a calcium supplement, and right there it says on the label 500 milligrams of calcium carbonate per capsule. They're not required by law to guarantee that there's 500 milligrams of calcium carbonate in that capsule. They're just not. And this is a big problem because most vitamin companies don't do the requisite testing, which allows them to faithfully say, yeah, the stuff in the capsule meets the label claim 100% of the time. They don't do that. So even in the wonderful world of, vitamins that are dialed in to contain supposed to contain a particular milligram amount, there's no law that requires them to do that. And whether or not that happens is based entirely on the discretion and the integrity of the nutritional supplement company that's making it. It's a big problem in the vitamin industry, and I think the federal government should intervene in this regard, but they don't, or they don't enforce the regulations or enough, or the regulations that they put in place are ponderous, and the regulations aren't really established to protect the consumer. The regulations are established to bankrupt the vitamin company, because the federal government is deeply in bed with the drug industry, and it's a big bad voodoo daddy. So, there's a middle ground here somewhere, and the middle ground is science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition delivered through the application of nutritional supplements which have a really good track record made by a company that has integrity. And that's what Youngevity brings to the table. Now, the whole thing of birth control enters into really gray area because, we're talking about forcing Mother Nature's hand. And I don't care if it's a bioidentical hormone or if it's a synthetic hormone. When you're taking something into the body which is trying to disrupt the normal hormonal rhythm of the human body, you are playing with fire. And even if it's a naturally occurring ingredient, something's going to go haywire. This is why for birth control, condoms, cervical caps are hands down the best way to go. The combination of a condom and a cervical cap offers 100%, or I think 99.9% protection against becoming pregnant. That's a much better way to do it than messing around with the hormones in your body, either with a naturally occurring substance or with a man-made occurring substance. I don't know if that makes any sense, Dave.
It makes sense, and guess how this whole thing started? When the patch was discovered, they were using the patch. Talk about a powerful, hormone drug going through the body where the patch absorbs it. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
So it's a little crazy, Dave. I appreciate the phone call. I appreciate your support. And I'm always happy to help. Keep up the good work down there in California. We're up against a hard break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we're going to go right to Houston and talk to Pat about skin issues. And then we're going to hustle off again to California and talk to Rod about something about surgery. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. This is September 19th live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Please check out the website of the same name, fireyourmdnow.com. Become a Dr. Glidden Insider and join us for tonight's webinar, How to Balance Your Hormones Naturally, a woman's health webinar. Very timely, I think. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here. We got the video feed up and running. Appreciate your patience with us. Appreciate your calling in. Appreciate your watching us on the live video feed. Check it out at fireyourmdnow.com. Going to go to Houston now and talk to Pat. Hey, Pat. Thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thanks so much. I want to say, first of all, I am gluten-free.
Good girl.
I have something that's affected both sides of my nose, and it's the skin. It's really itchy. In the last few hours, it's starting to weep. When I put some colloidal silver on it, the tissue was yellow. Like the weeping was yellow. It's itching, weeping, and it's turning a little darker.
And it's on both sides of your nose?
Both sides of my nose.
That's interesting. Does it itchy?
Yes.
And has it ever happened before in your life?
No.
Has anything like this anywhere else on your skin ever happened, any of this in your life?
Yes.
Okay, where, if you don't mind sharing?
Right on my chest.
Yeah, okay. And what was it diagnosed as when that happened? Do you remember?
And it didn't. I've never really gone to any skin people. I just kind of tried to treat it, but on my face is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, okay. So when we have recurring things like this, it's probably in the herpes family. It's probably a herpetic eruption, like a cold sore, on your nose instead of in your nose. It's a very common skin ailment. Almost 100% of the population in the United States tests positive for the herpes simplex virus. It's everywhere all the time. And in some people it manifests and in some people it doesn't. Now, I'm not in the business of diagnosing stuff over the phone. I can't do that. Over the internet, I can't do that. But really, this all boils down to a simple solution, right? A simple sauce. What we're up against here is a skin condition. So what we want to do is support and promote the structure and function of the skin, and it's entirely possible because of the way that it's manifesting that it's microbial in nature, infectious in nature. So the colloidal silver is the most excellent thing to do. I would go to CVS or Walgreens, get a little spray bottle, a little tiny spray bottle, put the colloidal silver in the spray bottle, and spray the heck out of it. Instead of trying just to put the drops on it, I would spray it. And I would spray it every hour. I'd spray both sides of the nose. And tonight when you go to bed, I'd soak a gauze pad with the colloidal silver. I'd tape it to your nose and go to sleep with it like that. I would. Now, internally, what you want to do is the killer biotic. Add the killer biotic into your program until this thing is gone. And what's your current body weight, Pat?
100. And
All right.
how much kilobiotic?
6 a day. I would do 6 a day until it's gone.
Okay. Okay.
6 a day until it's gone. Now, one more thing that you can do is you can increase your consumption of protein because your immune system is made from protein. And you can also increase your intake of EFAs because your skin needs EFAs. Your skin needs EFAs. So
I take 9 a day.
9 of the EFAs? All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do you do any selenium?
And I take 2 bottles a month.
So that's 6 a day of the selenium, right?
Right. No, I'm more taking like 9.
Oh, that's even better. So you're good. There's nothing else to do here besides the killer biotic and spray the crap out of it with colloidal silver. Have you been under, like, any type of emotional or personal stress in the last couple of weeks?
Not really.
So it's kind of been life as normal. You haven't really done anything new. Are you going to the gym now and you didn't before? You've started a new exercise routine or a new diet or anything like that?
Actually, I stopped and need to go back to exercising, but I have not been.
Yeah.
But I have not been exercising.
Yeah.
Would that have an effect on it? Emotional issues?
If it's what I think it is, then it happens because your immune system is depressed. And there's only a handful of things that can depress the immune system. One of them is, I mean, have you been overdoing it with sweets? Do you have a little bit of a sweet tooth and you've been eating more ice cream or more cookies or cakes?
Never touch the stuff.
Never touch the stuff.
I hardly ever use anything sweet. And my bowels have been loose, so I've been trying to negotiate how to take all of my supplements without adding the loose stools to it.
Yeah, so you've got, it's the most probable thing to assume here is you've got a little infection going on in the body, a little immune system depression, a little herpetic outbreak. So I'm not going to get all worked up about it initially. Initially, what I want you to do is spray the crap out of it with colloidal silver, take the killer biotic, call me back in 7 days with a report, Pat. I'll be looking forward to it. Thanks for the call. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Fire Your MD Now. Don't even think about touching that dial. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, halfway through the second hour on the full moon of September 2013. Rod from California is up to bat with a question about surgery. Hey, Rod, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Glidden. I have 2 quick questions, please. I'm dealing with people, my wife is from the Caribbean, and I'm dealing with people that don't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of blood pressure issues. Her father does and her brother does. What can I do to help them, for one? That's my first question.
All right. Well, the first thing to do is say, listen, I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that. He's trained in medical nutrition, 20 years of clinical experience. If I send you a link to this webinar, will you watch it? And that's all you have to do. And then you email them a link to the webinar that I did about high blood pressure. They let the expert explain it to them. One of my strengths, if I do say so myself, is taking pretty complicated physiological concepts and dialing it down so anybody can understand it, because we've been duped by 100 years of cultural conditioning by the pharmaceutical companies to think that human anatomy and physiology is this complicated, complex thing, and it's not. It's easy. If you can pass a driver's license test, you can figure out what's causing high blood pressure and know what to do to get on the other side of it. So the best way to do, you got to get your foot in the door. You got to get people to listen. And honestly, if you hang out with me, become a Dr. Glidden Insider, hang out at Longevity, read a couple of the books, not even, just go to a couple of the websites, listen to the radio show, you're going to know what to do to support and promote the structure and function of, the blood pressure. But they're not going to listen to you, because who the heck are you, right? I mean, this is just human nature. So the very best way to be effective in getting people to try stuff is, rather than trying to become the expert, just take them to the expert. So, look, I know a doctor says you don't have to suffer with that. I'm going to send you a link to his webinar. Check it out, and then we can talk. Now, what to do, the first thing to do is we consider that it's a calcium issue. The first thing to consider is it's a low calcium issue. So the recommendation for first blush, circulatory system support would be 1, anti-aging, healthy start pack. 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 extra bottle of the liquid calcium a month, the Beyond OsteoFX. So that's the anti-aging healthy start pack and selenium appropriate for body weight, plus 1 extra bottle of the white liquid calcium a month. And usually within 8 weeks, the blood pressure numbers start noticeably dropping. Now, if the person goes gluten-free and cleans up their diet and follows our advice about what to eat and what not to eat, then it'll drop even faster and normalize even faster. I love helping people with high blood pressure to support and promote the structure and function of their circulatory system, because it's such an easy thing to measure, because they're taking their blood pressure a couple times any day, and son of a gun, the numbers are going to start to come down. It's that simple. And I got to tell you something, man. Once you help somebody get on the other side of a circulatory system thing like this, like blood pressure, we don't talk about it very much. Maybe we should. But when you take prescription drugs into your body, it messes up how you think, and it messes up how you feel. It messes you up. But then, you kind of get used to it. It's like smoking cigarettes when you're a teenager. The first 3 packs, it's like you want to shoot yourself. But then you get used to it, and then you can't live without it, right? Yeah. So it's the same with prescription drugs. Being able to get people to safely and effectively stop taking their drugs, just from not having that crap in your body anymore, all of a sudden it's like the clouds lift and they're normal again. So I'm telling you, man, it's a really rewarding thing to do, to get people so healthy that they don't need prescription medication for blood pressure. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And the secret sauce here is anti-aging healthy start pack and selenium for body weight, and then 1 extra bottle of the Beyond OsteoFX a month to start with.
Okay, thank you so much. Part 2 of my question is, this is a little more complicated, I think, because this guy, one of my friends, he had knee surgery, and they put a chip or something in his knee, and one of his legs is now shorter than the other. And he walks with a limp now.
Yeah, go figure, right? Yeah, so thank you very much, surgeon. That was a $12,000 deal. And, I'm limping. And then what the heck? Now, with knee surgery, right, ostensibly that's because there's an arthritic problem in the knee. Well, why does somebody have arthritis in the knee? Because they have a knee? No. Because they have a titanium knee deficiency? No. Because they have a knee surgery deficiency? No. Because their knees have run out of the nutrition they need to maintain their structure and function. That's the only reason, unless, of course, you're run over by a tow truck or something. So surgery, even though it may provide relief, the relief is only temporary, because the surgical procedure doesn't eliminate the root cause of the illness. The root cause of the illness is lack of nutrients in the body to keep the knee healthy. I've had patients, they've had 5, 6 fake knees. They get one fake knee, and 4 years later it fails. They get another one, and then another one, and then another one, and it's like the blind leading the blind. But this is what you can do when you monopolize the industry, and you can do whatever the heck you want. And even though your results are piss poor, you're the only show in town, so people have to keep coming to you. And this is why the MDs do not want me to be licensed in all 50 states. They're dead set against it. Because they know if we had a level playing field of medicine in the United States, if you had equal access, if there were just as many naturopathic doctors in your town, in your hospitals, if insurance paid for naturopathic medicine and we got half of the research money, within 5 years the MD general practitioners will be out of a job. They know it, because their therapeutics don't work. And when you hold our therapeutics up to their therapeutics in the treatment of chronic disease, we win all the time. That's why they do not want you to know about me. That's why we have to develop a grassroots network like this. Because our stuff works and theirs doesn't. But most people don't know this, because most people, they're too busy with their lives to figure out the evolution of medical treatment in the United States and how it all happened, and it's nonsense. So this is a big deal, man. You can make a big difference in this person's life. The recommendation, right, it's not rocket science. It's a bone and a joint problem. So 1 healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month is a very, very, very good place for him to start. If he takes a healthy bone and joint pack and eliminates the 10 bad foods, in 4 weeks, he will notice a difference somewhere in his body. And then within 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, the knees, joints, everything's going to just turn right around. He's going to feel like freaking Superman, man. Go out there and get him, Rod. You're the greatest. Keep up the good work. And, listen, if people say no to you, which they do and they will and they're going to, just don't take, develop a thick skin. Just look for the next person. Because, I mean, look at it this way. Nobody listened to Jesus Christ. They crucified him. Nobody listened to Noah. And guess what happened to all the people that didn't listen to Noah? They drowned to death. So the people that don't listen to you, they're going to get sicker and poorer and sicker and poorer and sicker and poorer, and then they're going to die. Meanwhile, you're going to get healthier and wealthier, healthier and wealthier, healthier and wealthier, and then you can buy up all their distressed property because you're going to be the richest man on the block and you're going to be the healthiest man on the block. So, don't lose heart, Rod. Keep up the good work. I'm very proud of what you're doing down there. Appreciate the call. Our good friend Abby from Miami is up next with a question about digestion. Hey, Abby, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thank you again for taking my call. I'm trying to call as often as possible to provide little by little testimonials so people know. And today I wanna give you something new about my digestion improvement. I haven't told you. And I'm gonna put it this way: for the people that don't know, I suffer from chronic diarrhea for the last 20 years. I eliminated the diarrhea following Longevity protocol through you in like 6 to 7 months. 7, 8 months, more or less. And I continued improving, right? Well, after I improved and I eliminated all the diarrhea and all that, I try to, the way I test my digestion is by concentrating the Beyond Tangerine. So when I started at the beginning last year in July, I could not take a scoop. I had to dilute it into like 25 ounces of water and get it very slowly. I spent the whole day drinking it, right? Well, right now, I'm taking 2 scoops in 8 to 10 ounces of water, and I don't feel it.
Wow.
Nothing happens to me. Yeah.
How long do you take to drink that down? How long do you take to drink that down?
Not just one, just at once.
So you put 2 scoops in 8 ounces of water and you chug it right down all at once?
Right down with my meal.
Wow.
Yes. And nothing. I've been doing that for a few days. The last time I tried that, after 2 days, I started getting diarrhea again because it was irritating the inside. But I've been doing this for now like 3 or 4 days as a test to see how my digestion has improved, and I'm feeling perfect. I'm taking basically like for a 300-pound person, I'm taking 3 times a day 2 scoops.
Yeah, you gotta love it. And folks, if you're listening, watching the live video feed, I pulled up Abby's before and after picture. June 2011, 170 pounds. June 2013, 132 pounds. That's just the tip of the iceberg. He recovered from 30-plus chronic health conditions, 30-plus chronic health conditions in under a year by giving his body the raw materials it needed to fix itself and by stopping the consumption of food that was gumming up the works. And Abby is a living, breathing, walking testimonial to the positive effects of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. If you want to get results like Abby, this isn't rocket science. All you have to do is get in touch with the Longevity representative. Get in touch with the person who told you about this radio show. If you heard about this radio show on the Internet, then call us up, 855-347-3696, or go visit my website, fireyourmdnow.com, and click on the Longevity button. Join Team Glidden. Click on the Join Team Glidden button, and you will come into Longevity in my network like Abby did, and we'll hold your hand, and we'll tell you exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. It's very, very easy. There's no harm and no foul here. There's two ways to work with us. You can work with us as a customer. You can work with us as an associate, whatever floats your boat. If you're suffering from a vitamin M deficiency, you need a little more money, a couple extra $100 a month, that's not a bad idea. Become an associate. Become a business builder. We'll show you how to show this to your friends and family and church members and community members in a way that moves them into action. Abby, we have just a minute left. Any news about your radio show yet?
No, not yet. But I have a question, though.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to increase my intake of calcium for a few months. And then I would like to ask you what would be the best way to do it. I'm taking the Healthy Start Pack too, but I would like to. I was thinking of getting capsules because they're easier to carry around, and I'm on the street or something like that. I want to have them with me, and I would like to ask you which one would be the best way to go.
All right, stick around, buddy. We're up against the hard break. I'll answer that question when we come back. Everybody, I'm Dr. Glidden. This is Fire Your MD Now. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. We're closing it out today, the full moon of September 2013, September 19th, 2013. Talking to Abby from Miami, who has perhaps one of the best health recovery testimonials I've heard in a long time. Let me click on your button there, Abby. Welcome back. So the thing is, you want to do more calcium, but you're not sure how to do it. Well, the good news is that Youngevity's calcium supplements are unrivaled in the field of medical nutrition. The bad news is that it's my opinion that the capsules of calcium that Youngevity have stink. And they shouldn't even make them because they just don't work. Really, you only have three options for good, therapeutic, efficient, effective calcium dosing. The Beyond Osteo FX liquid, the Beyond Osteo FX powder, or the Cal Toddy liquid. Now, if powders float your boat, then what you need to do is I've heard rumblings that Youngevity is going to put the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 powder in those little on-the-go packs like they do with the Pollen Burst and the Rebound. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that they've rolled that out yet. You might want to go into the back office and see if they have that yet. I don't think they do. Notwithstanding that, in order for ease of use as you're out and about during the day, your only option is to put a couple of scoops of the Beyond Tangy into one of those really small Ziploc bags. And then when, you're out and about and it's time for calcium dose, empty that into a bottle of water and shake the crap out of it and drink it down. The only other way is to use the liquids and put the liquids, in a little plastic water bottle container with whatever you dissolve the liquids with, and just put the appropriate doses in the car in liquid bottles, and then, you can just slug them down all day long. Those are the only two ways to do it. I am not a fan at all of the calcium supplements that are encapsulated anywhere in the world, including Youngevity. They're a waste of time and a waste of money because ounce for ounce, milligram for milligram, they just don't cut the mustard. And, it's a crying shame that they haven't figured this one out, but they don't. What they should do, if it were me and I were, going to encourage them what to do next, I would have them take the Osteo FX powder and make it into a wafer. Compress it into a wafer so that you can just, add something to it to make it taste good, so that the wafer doesn't dissolve, melts in your mouth, not in your hand. So you can pop the wafers in your mouth and suck on them, kind of like the root beer belly, and then it dissolves and it's down the hatch and life is good, but they don't have that yet. So your only option is to the Beyond Osteo FX liquid, the Beyond Osteo FX powder, or the Cal Toddy liquid. I'm curious, why do you want to up the ante with your calcium? What's your thought process behind that?
Well, because the reason I got into Youngevity is because I was looking for solutions to my herniated disc on my back. So what I'm trying to do is try to regenerate the disc. That's my goal. Regenerate the disc, if I can, completely, to bring it back to normal. And I imagine that for that I'm going to need a lot of calcium and glucogen. and I'm
Yeah,
taking already a lot of glucogel. I'm taking
how much glucogel are you taking?
I'm taking 18 a day, and I'm on 132 pounds.
Yeah, so that's a perfect dose. I'd be okay with you doing more calcium. What might be a better strategy, though, would be 2 ounces of calcium a day and the plant-derived minerals as an add-on. Instead of extra calcium, do extra plant-derived minerals. And they make the extra plant-derived minerals in a smaller, they make it in a capsule, right? So remember, when we're supporting and promoting the structure and function of the ligaments, tendons, bones, and joints, it's a holistic package. We need to give it everything that it needs on the outside as well as everything that it needs on the inside. And the superstructure of the cartilage that the heavy metals are attached to are sulfur-bearing molecules and plant minerals. So I think it might be a better strategy, Abby, to get a bottle of the plant-derived minerals and take 2 or 3 of those capsules every day. That certainly would be easier for you, and I think it would be more effective as well. Out of time, buddy. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are you an insider? Desperate to balance your hormones? Have you tried everything with little results? Balance your female hormones naturally tonight. A live webinar for Dr. Glidden Insiders. Check it out. FireYourMDNow.com. God willing, back in the saddle tomorrow. See you then.